record button here, and here we go.
A lot of podcasts these days. Tippy toe around everybody's little feelings. The little snowflakes are fragile. But you won't get any of that crap here. Welcome to the Mark G Show. From political issues to cultural issues to current events and everything in between, we're talking about it. And we talk about it how we want, melting the little snowflakes. This is the Mark G Show, and this is Mark G.
What? Whoa, shit. Where's my microphone? What's going on, everybody, in the Mark G Show? How you guys doing? Dear God, audio issues right off the bat. That's how we like to do it on this show. Nothing goes right at all.
Right.
I got my brother Gary with me, guys. Gary, what's going on?
What is happening?
Man, tired, but I finally got a day off yesterday, so I'm excited about that. You know, working 7 days a week for a nice long stretch and finally get one day off. Then you go to work again. Now your body feels like someone smashed you with a hammer. It's great.
Yeah, that means you're alive and well, brother.
Exactly. I'm not in a body bag. Speaking,
Not yet.
Not yet. The world goes here. So, man, a lot of stuff, actually. It's kind of funny. I didn't think there was a lot of stuff. And then you kind of was telling me about some stuff. I was like, wow. So one of the things I told you that kind of shocked me is how Biden was deciding to come after 9mm guns now, which is like the most owned gun in America. 9mm. Like that. Talk about disarming the Americans.
Well, the assault rifle narrative is falling apart because nobody can explain what an assault rifle even is.
Because it don't exist.
Because it's fucking wordplay.
Assault rifle does not exist. And they got people thinking that in the military, you use AR-15s. You use fully automatic weapons in the military. They do have a switch on them, so you can go semi-automatic to fully automatic. It's a great gun. 240 Bravo is even better, but we can't own those. I tell you, we can't own 240 Bravos. We can't own any fully automatic weapons as a civilian in the United States.
I look like I'm sweating like a madman right now.
Yeah, man, you're glistening over there.
Just got out the shower, brother.
But no, I mean, we'll talk about guns here and probably in another podcast. This one's kind of a short and sweet one tonight, but there was a couple of things that you brought up that was kind of like, yeah, maybe we should talk about it because it does raise a question. And folks, before I go into this show, let me get my disclaimer out of the way for, the fact checkers out there. For everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, please note that everything you are going to hear on the show tonight is the opinions and thoughts of myself, my brother, any guests that may come on the show through the Wisdom app that we're on, and use that information as you just to your discretion. And please do your own research because this is for entertainment purposes only. There we go. That was the word. That was the wording I was looking at.
That's what you were looking for, the entertainment word.
It was, man. Let me put this iPad.
Words are hard, especially on a Sunday night. What is it, 11 o'clock for you? So
yeah, it's like
words are hard.
Yeah, it's 11:08 right now, man. It's late. But hey, we can't do podcasts during the daytime unless people want to start hearing kids screaming and yelling and me getting up every 5 minutes saying, "Don't touch that shit. Get away."
And they're loud. They are loud. How do kids have so much power in such a little carcass? You know what I mean? I don't get it.
Like if we get kids to protest, oh my God, the politicians probably listen to them just to shut the kids up.
It's a lot of energy coming out those little lungs.
It is, man. They got better vocals than us. I can tell you that. So yeah, man. So you sent me a couple articles, quite interesting. I mean, I'm not going to really go read through them because that'd be up to our users.
Also, those articles, I did like 5-second searches, and those are just headlines that have caught my eye over the past few days that I thought would be worth. So I didn't actually read those articles just as a full disclosure.
Gotcha. So you're like, oh, look at his title. Let me send it to him. We're going to talk about it.
Fuck yeah, clickbait. Let's go with this one. This looks pretty like super sketchy web domains. So I don't know. But the stories I've read and I've heard through other reputable sources. So
gotcha. Clickbait, you got to love it, except for on Facebook and you get hacked.
Yeah. Well,
I had one of those hit me yesterday. Somebody I know on Facebook, they got hacked, and I got a message, and it said, "You wouldn't believe who died." And then it sends me this random link that's not even to an obituary. I'm like, yeah, fucker, I ain't freaking clicking on that. What are you, nuts?
Not doing it. Not falling for that one again.
Not this time, China. Not this time, Russia. I'm not clicking on this shit. No, man. So I'm looking over this. The first one you sent me, and I have heard about this stuff before. When you were talking about it when I was driving home, my wife was like, "Oh yeah, you know that is a topic." Is drag queens perform at a drag the kids to pride event. Children also take the stage as parents protest outside.
Dude, like they were making the kids throw money at the drag queens like they're at a strip club.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. And like I saw a clip on the gram about these two people following two of the drag queens. Like, aren't you ashamed of yourself? Like, this is not cool. Like what you're doing. And the drag people were like totally defending their completely psychotic behavior. Shit's weird.
No, that's completely messed up. And I mean, if you really go back, there's another episode. It wasn't drag queen related, but there was another school in another state. I'd have to really dig in to find that article. We talked about it before in a podcast where the teachers were having the students lap dance them. It was the end of the year type of thing, and the students were lap dancing male teachers.
See, that's just crazy.
This is the type of shit that should not be in our schools.
Definitely not.
Just like I don't think, and people may yell at me for this, talking about sexuality in certain grade school or certain grades should not be allowed. It should be up to the parents to advise, teach your children in that situation. It shouldn't be up to the school system. At least, I would say at least up to ninth grade. I mean,
I don't know what age would be appropriate, but I know I understand the argument that they make, right? And so what the point that they're trying to defend ignorantly is there are people who are trans or gay or bi or whatever, and they say like, "Oh, I knew that I was gay or bi when I was like 5 years old." And so you have people like, "Great, let's start promoting this transgendered agenda to kids who are 5, because there are some people who made the claim that they knew that they were gay or whatever at that age." Those are called outliers, right? So that's not the normal, or maybe it is, but it's not. It shouldn't be, because generally speaking, you're trying to figure your shit out. You're just trying to figure your shit out throughout life. So whether you're 5 or 48, you're still learning. You're still figuring shit out. So
right.
That's their argument. And that's the point that they try to push. And I definitely don't agree with it.
Gotcha. So I got Nelson Who here over on Twitch. I guess we actually got somebody watching us on Twitch. Holy shit. It's different. So
I like it.
Right. Nelson Who posted, government schools are literal prisons for children and the only place many people will ever encounter physical violence in their lifetimes.
I don't know. I mean, people fight in private schools too.
They definitely fight. I mean, so Nelson, I agree with you to a certain extent as far as violence. I have seen like a lot more bullying situations within high schools. I can go as far as that. And I think bullying is a big issue. But then again, where bullying's even worse now? It's not even in school anymore. Look at this wonderful thing where we're doing our podcast on right now. The internet and social media is now by far the biggest place for these social warriors. These people that come out and bully people now are all over the internet. They're sending children private messages, classmates private messages, or they're posting pictures about them that shouldn't be posted up on all the social medias now. And that's what's causing, I would say, one of the biggest suicide rates in our children in today's age right now. A lot of them get, suicide due to being bullied. And I personally can tell you, I've seen this, not seen it firsthand, but had it happen within my family. To one of my cousin's children, which
I've seen it too. My cousin was,
it's like
shit as well.
It's sickening as shit, right? So, I mean, I can agree.
That was not in school. That was at his home. So I mean, I don't know, not from his parents or anything, but his hometown, whatnot. So
Gotcha. And when you look at the school system, I think every child needs school. Don't get me wrong. I think school is needed. There's like, I can tell you firsthand as a father of 5 kids that as far as the school system goes, it's great for socialing, right? You got to get out there. You got to socialize, because if you are a homebody, you're homeschooled, you're not getting that socialization with your peers. And you may, if people say, oh, gaming socialize. No, gaming is not socializing. I'm sorry. There's no fucking way. You're not facing
social interaction, but it's not live in person.
right. There's a big difference there when you're doing socializing through video games or socializing through the in person. There's completely different connection there. In my opinion, I believe that there's a different connection there.
Yeah.
But we went way offhand. I appreciate you, Nelson. Who I love.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
They like go. Shoom. That's how we get ADD on this podcast.
That's all right. So we're talking about trannies dancing in front of children. That's what we started with.
Right. Exactly. So I don't think that should be taught in school. I think that should be up to the parents. And you know what? Here's the situation. You want to do something like that in a school when children have to go on a field trip, or when they're doing certain things. Like at least in our school, there's a note sent home to the parents saying, listen, this is what's going to happen on this day. Would you like your child to participate? You can either A, sign the form, say, yes, let my child participate, or B, I would not like my child to participate. Either A, have your child go to a different class or whatever, or B, your child stays home that day, but does not miss a day because you just did not want them to participate in that event. But
are they trying to say that kids in public school are like government property or some shit? Because didn't they start like giving kids COVID shots in schools without their parents' consent?
So I've heard, so I don't know what the information on that is. I have read a few articles that you were talking about in that. For instance, like a teacher was bribing students with pizza to get a COVID shot, and they weren't supposed to tell their parents. And then when they went home from school, they're complaining about an arm pain. The mom asked what was wrong with the arm. And, oh, teacher such and such gave me pizza for me to get this shot. Then that is absolute bullshit. That's going. And I pray to God they're able to sue the hell out of them, because our children is our children, right? When we send our kids to school, we send our kids even to camps and stuff like that. We're entrusting these individuals with our children, but at the same time to respect our rights as parents and to respect our beliefs. Unfortunately, that has been lost quite a bit lately. What have we got over here? Nelson, who homeschool is the way they can socialize on the weekend and summer. Nelson, I mean, Nelson, here's my thing. I'll agree with you and disagree with you on that one, because I'm all about people having their own opinions and their own thought process, and we can all disagree and agree on things. I understand homeschooling does work for some children, but it also doesn't work for others. For example, let me put out my lovely 19-year-old. Congratulations, by the way, to Zachary for graduating class of 2022.
Congrats, kiddo.
Give my son a shout out here on the podcast. But we're going to use him as a reference. When COVID-19 hit, and they started doing, because let me tell you, before COVID hit, when he was in school, he was an A and B student straight across the board. There were no C's, no D's, no F's. He was fucking around, but he was still getting great grades.
That's impressive.
Right? Exactly. Then COVID hit. Homeschooling had to begin. Kids were on the computers. They were doing these Zoom classes, or sometimes they weren't even doing Zoom. It was just like, hey, go on this file, do this work, send it in, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's when his grades fell. And my son had to fight like hell. He did miss his first graduation, made it to the second graduation, but he fought like hell. And reason why he passed is not only did he was able to go back to school, he was able to socialize again with his friends. And that's what brought him back up, and his grades picked up again. Yeah, he was still a little bit down because, that interest for school, I would say, when you do get hold back one time, your interest for school kind of fades a little bit. But he did fight like hell to get back. So I'm very proud of him. But he's an example of, homeschooling works for some and not for others.
And I mean, after school, you can still be in sports. You can still do shit that you socialize during the week. Like you can get into karate, you can get into fitness, you can get into sport. There's a lot of ways to socialize outside of school during the week, during the weekends, whenever.
Exactly. Nelson, who says lap dance is the beginning of. So Nelson, I will agree with you. There needs to be more interactions with the parents and the school system. The school system needs to listen to parents. But here's the problem that we're running into. I'm not sure if everybody remembers a while back when the school system and the Biden administration was labeling parents as domestic terrorists. Do you remember that?
The parents going to the PTA meetings, right?
The parents are going to the PTA meetings, voicing their opinions regards to masks. And because some parents got loud, and you know what? Hey, let's talk about getting loud real quickly. We want to talk about parents being considered domestic terrorists, right? What about when we had the protest with BLM and Antifa all out on the streets, burning down
peacefully protesting?
Okay. Burning down businesses, beating up people, doing all this shit, taking over city blocks and claiming them as anonymous zone.
Autonomous,
whatever. It's 11:30 my time. Shut up.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. But listen, so we're not going to label them domestic terrorists, but we're going to go ahead and label parents who go to PTA meetings who want to voice their opinions using their vocals, getting loud when they want to be, but they're not destroying nothing. They're not causing violence. They're not causing harm. They're using their voice. I'm sorry that my voice and my words hurt your fucking feelings, but grow a little pair or a big pair and take it like a man. Don't go sit there complaining to the president and get me labeled as a domestic terrorist. It's bullshit.
So was that specifically in protest to the masks, or was that also like the changes in the curriculum? Because I do remember that happening, but I can't, off the top of my head, I can't remember like what specifically they were protesting. Was it the mask mandates in the schools? And like the segregation of like the kids with the masks and not masks or whatever.
So it was, I think some of them were because of the mask. The others were because of the curriculum. There we go. Hey, I'm using my words. Look at that shit.
Hey,
I can't. The curriculum. Okay. And then others were some of the stuff that's going in schools. Cause look, there's a lot of shit going on in these schools right now that we really do need to take a deep look at. And we as parents, and even people who are not as parents, but in the community, really need to voice their opinions. Listen, there's a lot of shit going on. This lap dance, like he said, yeah, it's just the beginning. We've also seen an individual, a monster, I'm going to call him, because that's what he was, identified himself as a female so he could go into females' bathrooms, and he raped and sodomized a young lady in the bathroom. And the mom was trying to defend him afterwards.
Really?
Yeah, his mother was trying to defend him within the whole court case. I'd have to look at that. I believe we talked about that in prior podcasts before, but seriously, this is the type of shit that needs to stay out of school. Listen, you want to have, okay, here's my situation. Let's talk about bathrooms, because I have a daughter. I also have young boys. And I'm not going to say that, I'm concerned for my young daughter and I'm not for my young boys. I'm concerned for them all because there's sick, demented people out there. And even on the female side, there's some females that are sick and demented. So females, yes, do rape boys as well. Even though some people like, oh, you guys, if they fucking from me older than them or whatever, you guys root them on, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not really the case. If you think about it, I'm going to make sure whether a female or not touches any of my kids, we're going to have an issue. And you better hope the law finds you before I do. Now, with that being said, we have an issue. Bathrooms, that was the first one. Once they let the bathrooms go, that's when everything went downhill. Now we got fucking litter boxes for kids that consider themselves Furbies, which is completely bullshit. There's
that is almost hard for me to believe.
Oh,
like, I don't doubt it. But it's just like that's like psychosis on a whole different level.
It's fucking nuts.
That's crazy.
Does
a kid actually shit in the litter box in class? Like,
Not in the class. I think they put the litter box in the bathroom. When I was reading the article, they wanted it in the class. Like they wanted the litter box in the class for the kid to use. Like hell no. Like who's gonna watch a kid drop drawer and squat and go?
Yeah, right.
No.
In the middle of a test, like, oh, it's nice and quiet. You got dude over here blowing ass in the fucking sandbox.
Let me get my screwdriver and let's unscrew that noggin of yours real quick. We got to see how many screws are loose on the inside because I think we need to tighten them up.
Man.
I mean, it's absolutely sickening. So as far as our school systems go, yeah, we really do need to look at it. And unfortunately, we do have this joke of administration right here that's not doing that. They much rather keep sending $40 billion, $30 billion over to this war in Ukraine and support other countries versus supporting our own country.
It was like $40 million was sent to Ukraine, and then I think they shot down a 46 billion, right? Billion with a B?
B with a B.
Okay, so they sent 40 billion to Ukraine, and then they shot down a $46 billion like thing for the schools here in America.
Yeah, for security.
Yeah. So yeah,
Hello.
so that's kind of crazy, right?
We need to focus on America first and focus on other countries secondary. That's how it should be.
Yeah. Things are complicated right now. And it's like, this isn't making it better.
No, not at all. And you know, I'm going to talk about some real quick. I wish Justin was here because he'd be able to talk a little bit about this, but 22. For those who don't know the number 22, 22 veterans give their life, take their life daily. Daily. That's 22 veterans that commit suicide on a daily basis because the VA system is broken. The healthcare, as far as mental health goes, is broken. If there's anybody we should be investing our money into, is our men and women who have worn and who are wearing the uniform. They have fought for our freedoms. They have fought for our rights to do what we're doing right here. And yet they're being treated like trash. And here's what I'm going to say about that. I just watched a video. It about made me fucking cry yesterday. A little boy's father served in the military, took his life. His father's coffin was placed up on a podium. The little boy grabbed a stool, brought the stool up to his dad's coffin and said, "No, Mom, I want this here. I want to see Dad."
Jesus.
The kid was no more than 4 to 5 years old. It broke my fucking heart. I do edit the video on TikTok, and it's sad. And then when you see something like that, and they mentioned 22, the guy took his life. You know, you got to understand these guys go to war.
What is it? 22 a day?
22 a day. 22 veterans each day take their life. That's a high fucking number, man.
It's a lot of people, man.
It is. And you got to think of what these guys have been through, right? They've watched their buddies die in the battlefield. They've taken life. They've seen shit people don't want to see. They've seen the shit like what happened at the school with children overseas. They've seen this shit. At the same time, while they're worrying about their family back at home, wonder what's going on there. So, you know, they got a lot of shit going on in their fucking head. But yet, our government would much rather send money to Ukraine to support this bullshit fucking war versus helping people on American soil. They'd much rather spend this $40 billion over to Ukraine versus in trying to get baby formula up and running a hell of a lot quicker than what it is. Granted, I did see a report that the biggest factory that produces baby formula is now up and running, and they're producing the special formula first, the specialty type of formula first, and then going to do the other formula afterwards.
Good. Why were they shut down to begin with?
Supposedly there was something, they got shut down by,
was it like a contamination issue, or was it a production issue, or
it was contamination, to be honest with you. I don't want to go too much into it because I can't remember. I just know that they were shut down.
Yeah.
You know, but let's talk about shutdown for a minute. I see Nelson, who's not talking to us anymore right now. So Nelson, whatever you want. Again, I'm more than welcome. Anybody ever wants to chime in over on Wisdom, feel free to dial in. We'll bring you into the call. I love it when people jump into conversations because we love getting sidetracked. I should have been called this podcast the ADHD podcast or the ADD podcast. That's what it seems like sometimes. So we're talking about formula shortages. Let's talk about something else. Now, first and foremost, folks, let me say that I'm not going to say that this is acts from our government. I'm not going to say that this could be acts of terrorism and our government's silencing it to not make us freak out. I'm not going to say that this is acts of certain elites that are trying to pull out a certain agenda. I'm not saying that at all. That is up to you to figure out on your own. With that being said, let's have some entertainment purposes only. There has been numerous accidental fires, quote, quote, accidental fires, continuing to happen at food processing facilities all over the United States. 25 mysterious fires at food processing plants across the U.S. Kind of scary, and it kind of sketchy, like kind of awkward that this is all happening. On top of that, remember we talked about guns earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Biden going after 9mm, going after AR-15s. Shootings, mass shootings everywhere now. What the fuck? Like, seriously, almost every day you are now seeing in the news, feeding your lovely brain. This is why the media loves people that just soak up just mainstream media, because, oh my God, God forbid, you're now going to be feared of fucking guns. And but they won't tell you about the food fire plants, right? They won't tell you about the processing plants. You just got to watch out, and your shelves are getting empty at the stores, and you're wondering why. Oh, there's a food shortage right now. You'll hear about that on the news, but you won't hear about the fires. But hey, we're going to tell you it's a mass shooting.
Yeah, it's just like, I feel like for the amount of food processing plants and chicken farms and everything that have gone up in flames, exploded, whatever, attacked this year. These are all this year. So we're what, 6 months into the year, and there's been 18 to 20 something
25
food processing plants that have been destroyed.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, the Biden administration has been warning us all year about the food shortages that are coming.
Right. Before it happens.
Way too coincidental, in my opinion. But again, I'm an idiot, so it's hard to say what my little pea-sized brain can comprehend. But it's just weird. It seems bizarre from someone's perspective who's just kind of looking, just seeing what these things are that's happening.
Keep talking. I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Activists. It's got to be activists, right? Because like I've seen these movies back in the day where they have activists that go and like steal animals, or it's like the PETA folks that go and they try to, I don't know, rescue animals or what have you. So it's, you know, there's no way for us to know who is behind any of these, but I'm sure these facilities have video cameras and shit. Do I need to put on mine too?
So
Do I need my hat? So I just literally got stopped in my words right now, Mark.
For those who wisdom, just so you guys know, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And I literally just told my brother to continue talking. I went in and I put on my tinfoil hat while we continued this conversation.
Now I feel like I need to. I don't even know if I have any tinfoil, but if I do, I'm gonna make a hat for our next show.
Right? I think I will too. I just did this real quick, see what happened.
I heard something in the background. I was like, I wonder what he's doing. That sounded really weird.
You lost complete train of thought.
I am fucking sidetracked like crazy. Yeah. So activists, I think that it's like, it's possible for activists to be involved in this, but someone's responsible and someone's being like very careful about what they're doing to blow these plants up. Like, these are big facilities. This is not like a 3-car garage. Like, this is a massive facility. These are like, the food processing plants are big. And then there's like the chicken farms or whatever, where it's like 1,000 chickens dead. So like, while that may not be that many chickens realistically, that's still pretty significant output. Chickens lay a lot of eggs, you know?
Well, you also know that the food for livestock as well is running short.
Yeah, the just I don't know. I want to say manure, but it's not manure. Fertilizer plants have also been sabotaged, or there may have been accidents. Allegedly, they were sabotaged.
Right.
Um, yeah, some of my customers are like they're in the South and they have cattle farms, and they're telling me that they're not getting the proper stuff that they need for their farm this year just because the cost is more than doubled. So anybody who's raising cattle or any type of livestock, they're the ones who are targeted both for the raw material to feed their livestock, but it's also the livestock is being killed. And once that food has been, if they're slaughtering that animal, um, it's also being destroyed at the processing plant. So yeah, food shortages are going to come. And it looks like the food that does make it to the market is going to be significantly more expensive, not only just because of the fact that there's less of it, but just fuel alone is going to be hitting quite possibly a lot more than $8 or $9 than what it is right now in California or something.
It's almost $5 here in May now.
Yeah, I think it's just under $6 here in Oregon.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
It's wild, man.
I mean,
I'm glad I got my little scooter. I got a little 125 scooter that I could ride around and put 1.5 gallons in that and be chilling. But
I might need to get a scooter, but I couldn't imagine running my business driving a scooter. That might be
that would suck.
Imagine got the backpack vac on the back. We're okay. We're gonna make this happen.
Just put a little like trailer behind it, throw all your gear in the trailer and just putt on a little 125 to work.
Imagine doing that shit in the winter.
Oh,
Cold.
that would not be fun.
That would suck balls. Well, yeah. Well, let's talk about the food shortages. I'm not gonna go say, hey, it's time to go panic buy. Not at all, because look at what happened in COVID, right?
I am.
If everybody went out grocery shopping, when you go grocery shopping, you pick up a few more extra items of the stuff you typically buy with longer shelf life. Pick up, every time you go grocery shopping, pick up another package of TP, because y'all remember
100 pounds of rice, get 100 pounds of beans, store that shit properly, you'll be fine.
Right?
For like 2 months.
That's it, man. Or as far as TP paper goes, I mean, if we all bought bidets, I guess
get a bidet, baby.
You don't have to worry about toilet paper. Then you can wash your asshole with water. It's great. I don't know. I haven't used a bidet. I've never used
I haven't
one.
either, but I'm down.
You're down to squirt your asshole with water, huh?
For sure, man.
Fucking right.
I am. Everybody that has it loves it. So
I have heard good things. I mean, that's what they do in France, right? There's no toilet paper, right? They use the bidet over there.
I think that you gotta dry dab your booty hole, once you squirted it. I don't know. I really don't know.
In my chat right now, anybody on Wisdom, anybody ever use a bidet? Tell us.
Bidet.
Bidet works.
Come on, give us your bathroom secrets.
Give us the insight on a
Share
bidet.
your poop stories.
Let's go.
Oh my god.
Oh shit, I'm back to the car. Oh man. No, man, that's some crazy shit. So I'm looking over Wisdom. We're good on Wisdom. I'm not seeing anybody coming and chiming in tonight. Then you have an exclusive from Newsweek that you shared to me as well.
Oh, Newsweek, they're supposed to be reputable, right?
I believe so.
Allegedly.
Putin treated for cancer in April, U.S. intelligence report says. So April, he was treated for cancer. So while he's fighting as he's engaging on this war with Ukraine, he's also fighting cancer. I'd be curious, does it say, did you read that one by chance to find out what?
I read a couple of different articles on that earlier today. And it tied into something I read like a week or two ago. Basically, like there's video footage of him like just talking, like, when you have leaders talking, and he's like not, and they did like a side by side, like he does this thing every year, and so they scrolled back to like other historical footage of him at these meetings or just in meetings having these conferences and conversations, and he's usually like a pretty damn well composed guy, like he doesn't fidget a lot. Like he's pretty much like Putin was badass when he was younger, right? Like that dude was a fucking monster. And so nowadays you see him like having a hard time keeping his legs still. He seems to be twitching a little bit. It looks like he's kind of swollen from being on some steroids or something. And I'm not talking like juicing up and lifting weights. I'm talking about shit that's trying to keep him alive.
Right.
And there was another clip of him like holding onto a desk while he's talking, and it's just like he looks like he's fucking squeezing the shit out of that desk. Like, I don't know. It doesn't look like the atypical Putin body language. So it looks like he's having, there's something going on.
All right.
So maybe I could be reading into it. I do tend to do that sometimes, but
Hey, it's good to do that, and as well as when I was asking about the article, because I was just reading something else in here. Let me clear my throat. The assessments also confirmed that there was an assassination attempt on Putin's life in March, the officials also say. So it looks like apparently someone tried assassinating him as well in March.
Yeah, I've been reading some articles, and they're saying like he's still got a pretty firm grip over his regime, but it's failing. The grip is failing. Feels like there's probably going to be a transfer of power pretty soon at some point.
Think we may have a coup.
Coup.
Listen.
I mean, it's hard.
11:40. Just saying.
Yeah, words are hard.
That's hard.
It's. I mean, it's possible, because I don't think that he would just voluntarily, pass the baton. Right. Like, I don't know how they're communist, right? Like Putin.
Yeah.
That's a communist country. So I don't think they just go like, all right, the next guy is going to be whoever, you know what I mean? Right. So,
well, wait a minute. Didn't Russia? No, Russia.
Man, my ignorance is going to really shine through. What was Boris Yeltsin? Is that a real guy? Was that a movie? Who was the I guess leader of Russia before Putin? Why do I have the name Boris Yeltsin in my head?
All right, I'm looking at Boris Yeltsin right now.
Oh, don't just look up.
Boris Nikolaevich Yeltsin was a Russian and Soviet politician who served as the first president of Russia from 1991 to 1999.
Really? I was right? Hey, I'm fucking happy about that. Hey.
Hold on. We've got something for you on that one, my brother. You were right. Take your bow. Take your bow. I see you over there. Good job. See,
public school didn't fail me, bitches.
We've said before numerous shows, you guys, please, we're just two idiot brothers here having a conversation, stating our opinions, and we're gonna get shit wrong. We're fucking human. Everybody.
We didn't get Boris Yeltsin wrong, big guy. We got that one right on the money, it seems.
But no, man, it's fucked up times we're living in. This Biden. Let's talk about something real quick. Who else out here? You can say it in chat. Hell, chime in on wisdom real quick. We're getting close on my time here. But who else here has lost their significant other over a course of a couple of weeks due to, my wife just made a comment about this, that's why I want to bring it up, due to the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case.
Wait. So what is your question?
So my wife has said that this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case has been waking up a lot of people lately on how the media has been lying to people.
That woman is psychotic.
She's all
shit on the bed, bro.
Dude, she's literally squatted and dropped a deuce on. Dude, like who does that? Oh wait, Amber Heard does that. Yeah, Amber Heard, we're talking to you. If you'll never see this podcast right here.
She definitely won't. She definitely won't.
But seriously, like who takes a shit on the bed? That's just as bad as there was a lady who just got arrested. She caught her man cheating on her, and she threw his mother's ashes over the bridge.
Oof. Look, you can kick him in the balls. You can do all sorts of fucked up shit, but that's kind of over the line, I think.
Yeah, that's just.
Look, I don't support infidelity. I don't.
No, but she could have shit on his bed.
She could have shit on the bed. That would have been much better than throwing the parent. Like that's
fucked up.
That's fucked up. I mean, cheating is fucked up, but that's fucked up.
Yeah. So, you guys, there's some crazy shit going on. I'm going to try pulling in a guest. I would love to have a guest on our freaking show next week. We record at typically between about right around 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right now, currently on Sunday. So if anybody on Wisdom or anybody who's listening in on this show right now, please send me an email at onair@themarkgshow.com. Once again, it's onair@themarkgshow.com. I would love to have a guest on. Listen, I love talking to my brother and having these conversations. And a lot of times,
Trying to get rid of me already?
hell no.
Trying to get rid of me already?
You know it, bitch. Get out of here. But seriously, though, like,
Shit on your bed, homie.
having the shit we always talk about on the phone throughout the week is like, why the fuck are we not recording this shit? Like, this is podcast material, but like, seriously though, I want to hear other people's opinions. I would love to have a third person on the show. I've invited somebody I saw on TikTok to be on the show. I'm hoping she'll get back out to me. She is actually a very proud lesbian woman who is tired of what she's seeing right now. What's going on within this administration. She is tired of them pushing the LGBTQ community down the throats of our grade school students. Like, she openly admits it. Listen, I'm a proud lesbian, but I'm not liking the shit. I want her on the show because I would love to hear what she has to say. And maybe some people in the LGBTQ community could listen to what she has to say and go, wow, okay, wait, she makes sense. Because she does. Like, I've watched her TikToks.
And it's interesting you bring that up because, like, while I was doing my 17 seconds of very intensive research for tonight's podcast, I came across another article that was talking about, because when I pulled up that first like transgender, I had to do like a couple different versions of my search to find that article that I sent you. But it was even pulling up like there's like sex counselors and there's counselors for the LGBTQ people. And even those people are saying like, look, what's going on right now with the schools? Like, this is overboard. Like, there's one thing to show support and there's one thing to like encourage people to be their truest selves and to be confident in who they are. But there's a point where you just go way too far. And what's happening right now, clinical psychologists and people who are like really watching and they're seeing how society is reacting to this shit. Like, it's gone too far. Like, this is it, like the pendulum is swinging, right? And like, it fucking swung too far. And like it's hard to say what the recourse of the damages or whatever is going to be with this, 5, 10 years, 15 years down the road with the kids who are affected.
I'm going to tell, yeah. Only time's going to tell that.
So yeah, so I'd be interested. I'd be very, very curious to hear what she has to say.
All right. I will hit her up again. I have her on TikTok. I will send her a message, see if I can get her on. Speaking of TikTok, folks, if you want to see me being a freaking fool in about 15 minutes, I'll be acting a fool on TikTok. Actually, a gentleman who works in the radio station's like, dude, you got a voice of a radio DJ. Do you do a radio DJ? I'm like, no, I do podcasting.
Not yet. You're not yet.
Yeah. I don't think I can go recruit for a radio station, man. I have no radio station knowledge, but you never know.
I mean, there's talk shows on the air, there's just talk shows like got douchebag Stern. He's got a fucking following.
He does. And
yeah,
it's funny how I used to like him. And then it seems like he's a really hardcore liberal. Interesting. We'll talk about him another story. I think he would be an interesting rabbit hole to go down as well.
Oh man.
All right, you guys, we're going to end this now. We will definitely have a little bit longer and a better show for you guys next week. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. And remember, stay vigilant, keep an eye out. Don't always listen to what mainstream media news has to tell you. Do your own research. Sometimes what mainstream media tells you, you might want to believe the opposite.
Yes, for sure. And buy more ammo.
Yes, always buy more ammo. Ammo, beans, any
beans, rice, and ammo, baby.
Yes, that's it.
And a bidet.
Yes, in your asshole with water.
We need a bidet sponsor. How sick would that be?
That would be sick. Like, hey, anybody out there that makes bidets, contact myself or Gary. We'll be gladly take one of those bidets and we'll test it out with our assholes and we'll let our listeners know how they are.
Gladly share it. gladly share. Well, not share it, but share the stories about it. You know?
Yeah, we won't do any videos. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just
No,
wrong.
that'd just be weird.
That would be absolute weird. All right, you ready to end this, brother?
Yes, sir.
Everybody have a great night. Stay blessed. God bless you. See.
You've been listening to the Snowflake Melter, the Mark G Show. Mark is your everyday hardworking business owner that loves America, and he certainly doesn't mind telling it like it is. We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. To send an email, it's on air at themarkgshow.com. And find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at The Mark G Show. See you next time.